London Control, good afternoon. This is Chanex 1 Charlie Delta. Just making sure if I need to check in with you. Climbing through 10,000 feet on the way up to flight level 240.
Chanex 1 Charlie Delta, negative. You don't need to talk to me.
Stuff you. Didn't want to talk to you anyway. Hello everybody, welcome to Chaz Draycott Media and welcome to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator. You will all, if you know your aircraft, recognise that this is not the Fenix Airbus A320. Thank you massively to my very good friend Dan McCauley. You'll all have known Dan by now.
Mate, off in your f***ing Ryanair, no one gives a f***.
He has done the very generous thing of buying me the Airbus A319 and 21 expansion for the Fenix Airbus A320. And today I'm going to do my very first flight in it, and I'm going to do it on VATSIM as well. We're here on the ground at Gatwick. This is stand 176, so we're out of the way. And this is the Jet2.com POWU A321. So this is a leased aircraft, effectively. And today is going to be a repositioning flight. We're going to be flying up to Manchester today. This aircraft is we're delivering it to Manchester. It's an absolute shed. It's absolutely hanging, but I love it at the same time because it's a very normal A321. It's a long boy, as you can see, and I've gone to the extent of setting up all my cameras and everything, and I'm really excited to get this underway today. So let's just make sure then that we are connected on everything we need to be. This is VPilot, so we need to connect. We need to be EXS, which is Chanex. We are 1 Charlie Delta today and Airbus A321. Let's do it. Make sure that all my settings for audio and everything are correct as well. Yep, it's picking it up. Banging. We have ground here at Gatwick, I believe, according to Volanta, which I was looking at earlier. How cool is this thing, man? How cool is this thing? It is a long boy. And I also think if you listen carefully, just listen for a sec here. Can you hear that rattling sound? This is part of the detail they go into here on the Fenix aircraft, is that the fan blades are rattling because of the wind. Now this happens with aircraft when the fan blades aren't hot, so they haven't expanded, they sort of fall into place. My girlfriend mentioned it recently, that when they'd got off the plane they'd asked what it was all about. We have a CFM Hush kit on the back of it by the look of it as well, but how cool looking is this thing, man? It's so long. It's the closest thing I've got to a 757 at the moment, but yeah, we're over here, sort of out of the way here at Gatwick, if you see what I mean, look. There's a few aircraft over there, but we've only got a couple of them. There's somebody with strobes on at stand over there. There's an EasyJet as well. We do have ground available though, so we're going to jump into the aircraft and we're going to start setting up. I've got my scratch pad thing here, and I also have the checklist for the Neo, but it applies to most A320s and A321s. My God, I need to move my arms of my chair down, maybe. I don't know. This one will do. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud here. There's a lot going on. Right then. So we're going to get this puppy started. It's basically the same as flying the A320, it's just longer. So we've got batteries on. Heck. External power on. Boom, everything comes to life. Then we have the battery switches. We've got APU master switch on. And then start switch a few seconds later. Boop. And then we have the crew oxygen supply. ADIAs left, right and centre go into the nav position. Nav and logo light comes on next. We're going to put that on 2 because I always put that all the way on. Strobe goes to auto. Interior lights as required. We don't need any dome lights or anything like that. Interior lights, seatbelt signs are on. No smoking signs. And arm the emergency exits. We then have the landing elevation, which is something I never mess with. Fire tests for the engines. Let's do those. Don't think we're going to get any beeping for those actually, because the little beep hasn't come up yet. What else can we do? We put the fuel pumps on. We'll do the fire test before that actually. Flight directors and other stuff from down yonder. Let's get tuned in, shall we, to the radios, and we'll check what frequency. Oh, there's the beep, so I'll just do the fire test now, bear with me. Hold that down. Yep. It beeps. And it beeps. Cool. Let's go back down to the radios because we need to check what the frequency is. Ground 121850. Sorry, 805. 121805. Let's change over to that. Give it a listen. Gatwick ground, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta radio check.
Chanex 1 Charlie Delta, Gatwick ground. Good afternoon, ready 5.
Banging. Sounds like he's very serious, so let's not muck about with this guy, shall we? Flipping heck. Okay, so let's get the data imported from SimBrief on the flypad.
Gatwick ground, good afternoon. Mic check.
Let's get those cargo doors
Station
open.
calling, good morning, good afternoon even, readability 5.
Fantastic. Okay, Let's get GSX boarding, everybody, shall we? We'll operate some stairs because there's no jetways out here.
Beavers 152, thank you. Cleared to split, Osvic to Zulu departure, squawk 3374.
Okay, let's get the QNH, shall we? The METAR at the moment, QNH is 1014. Pop that on there. We need to go down to the MCDU and select all this. So we need to do our init page. We're going to do an init request. We'll wait for that to all pop in, as opposed to doing anything else, really. Yeah, it's just the MCDU at this point. We need to check the fuel and everything as well. So the flight number is EXS. You know what, actually? I've just realised that I've got the stairs and everything out to do boarding, and we're not actually boarding any passengers today. We are empty. Cruise, I'm hoping, is flight level 240 today. We'll see whether it gives us that or not. We need to go over to the iPad, go to mass and balance. We need to load the aircraft. Let's do it fast. Send that to the MCDU. Back here we go, and it's got all that in for us. Let's have a look at block fuel. Can you tell that maybe jump? 5.1.
KLM 10, Gatwick ground, good afternoon. Can you confirm aircraft type and stand number, please?
Don't mess with this guy. Mass and balance done. Let's do this. Single load sheet, single weather. Calculate V speeds 134. Information uniform is current. QNH 1014. I'm going to start writing this down. Got to do paperwork when we're on VATSIM. That's the thing. Notes, information, uniform. Flight level 240. I'm going to hope for. We're on standard 176. We're going to be pushing back onto. I'm trying to find it on my charts. I should probably do that on the screen so you lot can see. We're over here, stand 176. We're going to be pushing back on to Sierra. That's the taxiway we're going to be on. I don't know what runway we're using at the moment. It seems like they're using 8 right, so we're taxiing the long way round and then going down there. We'll check that, obviously, with the ground guy. We'll actually request clearance at this point, shall we? Because, yeah, we don't need the cargo doors or anything open. Oh god, I've just taken the parking brake off by accident. The aircraft is now loaded. We don't need any of that doing. Take the chocks and cones off as well.
Speedboat 152, stand 53, push and start proof, face west.
Push start proof, face west.
Gatwick ground, Fenix 1 Charlie Delta, stand 176, aircraft type A321, looking for clearance to Manchester, please.
Fenix 1 Charlie Delta, Gatwick ground, good afternoon. Cleared Manchester, Lambourne 1 Zulu departure, squawk 5621.
Lambourne 1 Zulu departure, was that? Squawk 5621, Fenix 1 Charlie Delta.
Fenix 1 Charlie Delta, correct. QNH 1014, report when ready.
QNH 1014 will report when ready, Fenix 1 Charlie Delta. Cool. Okay, flight level 240, Lambourne 1 Zulu departure. Let's just make sure we've got that in here, shall we? We need to go to flight plan, EGKK, departure off 8 right is the Lambourne 1 Zulu departure. Good stuff. When it comes to Manchester, we are coming on the 5 right arrival. We are going to be going on the Elvo 1 Mike. Let's get the perf in there. We need to make sure, actually, that all this is recalculated. Sync that, calculate that, and then send to MCDU. That's all in there. Banging. So we report when ready for pushback. This plane is going to get off the ground very quickly because there is literally nobody in it. It's completely empty for this flight. Lambourne 1 Zulu, information uniform. So, yeah, we just need to wait now for the IRS to align. It's going to be a very, very quick process, actually, to get us out of here this morning. Yeah, once that's done, then we'll call for pushback. We'll get rid of the stairs from GSX right now, and then we'll be good to go, won't we?
Airport School 34 Alpha, thank you. Taxi holding point Juliet 7, runway 08 right via Juliet, Quebec, and runway 26 right.
I think we're all ready to go. We need to just check the departure. So it's the Lam 1 Zulu departure. So let's look at the charts on that. What initial altitude do we need in? Going this way, 5,000, 6,000 feet is the altitude we want in, so we put that down on here. We need to also make sure the QNH is synced up on both sides. That's an issue that I always forget about with the Fenix aircraft. It does it automatically in things like the PMDG and in the fly-by-wire. I think we're pretty much ready then. Stand 176 ready for start and push. So let's call Gatwick ground. Gatwick ground, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta ready for push and start, stand 176.
Chanex 1 Charlie Delta, check squawk please, 5621.
Squawk 5621 will do, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta. Forgot about that.
KLM 10, stand 19, requesting push start.
KLM 10, stand 19, push and start approved, face west.
Face west,
Always forget about the squawks.
Chanex 1 Charlie Delta, stand 176, push and start approved, face south.
Push and start approved, face south, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta, thank you. Whoopsie daisy. I did a silly. Okay, so ready for push, beacon light comes on. Let's make sure everything else is all done. What was that? It's changed over from the GPU to the APU then. Goodness me. Beacon on, thrust levers to idle, parking brake on, APU and APU bleed on, engine mode to ignition and start when we're ready to push.
Taxi Lima, Quebec, hold Quebec 1.
Waiting for other services to complete. What else is it doing? Ah, maybe, yeah, dismiss GPU. I asked for a GPU earlier because the aircraft wouldn't start up. And it's because Fenix hasn't properly started or hadn't properly started in the background. So dismissing the GPU. Oh, here he is. Let's come pick it up.
Then as filed.
Go on, lad.
Squawk 1253.
Oh, don't hit the front of the van. Beep, beep, beep. Bye-bye. Cool. I love GSX, man. So, here's our ramp operative. There's Air Portugal taxiing out, and their Airbus A321 as well. Nice and busy here at Gatwick. I love VATSIM. I don't know why I don't do it more often, to be honest with you. Okay, so the tug is now going to make its way up towards us. Is Speedbird going to be coming past down here, or are they going left there? They're going left there, that's fine. Okay, cool. I don't know why he would have directed them down here anyway, to be honest with you, so that's all fine. I'm really excited for this. Flying the A321. It may be identical from in here compared to the A320, but it's still very exciting all the same. I've set my cameras up as well, so we've got some lovely interior cameras to show you once we get the engines all started. We're going to be Sierra Juliet, I think, by the look of it. Runway 08 right. Sierra and Juliet I'm going to put for now.
KLM 10, request taxi.
KLM 10, thank you. Taxi, Kilo, Quebec,
right.
Hold Quebec 1.
And let's get pushing back, shall we? Parking brake off.
KLM 10.
Air Portugal 34 Alpha, ready for departure.
Okay, so that left, right-hand engine is started. Let's start the left one.
Jet2 thank you.
KLM 10, confirm hold short Quebec.
Start the oxygen.
KLM 10 negative, it was Quebec 1, but it's right. Continue taxi, Kilo, Quebec and Juliet, hold Juliet 4 for runway 08 right.
Okay, so now we need to go back to our checklist. Flaps need to be set. I'm going to go flaps 1 for takeoff here. Speed brakes need to be armed. Then we need the APU bleed and master switch off once the engines are started. We'll pop the parking brake on. Okay, so let's turn the APU bleed and then the master switch off. Runway turn-off lights will be on when we get there. Nose light set to taxi and then brake test once we have our clearance. So, there's the KLM 777-300 making its way down. What a whopper that is. Look at the size of the thing. Gatwick ground, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta ready for taxi.
Chanex 1 Charlie Delta, thank you. Taxi holding point Juliet 4, runway 08 right via Sierra and Juliet.
Holding point Juliet 4 for 08 right via Sierra and Juliet, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta. So nose light to taxi, everybody. We're going to do a quick brake check. Parking brake off. Bit of power on. And then just a quick stab of the brakes. Yep, we're all good. He's still holding up our pin there, so I'm a little bit early with that. There's Air Portugal rotating. So Sierra and Juliet for us to taxi, which means we are going to be going straight on here on Sierra and then Juliet. Holding point Juliet 4, which is right at the end of the airfield, so nothing complicated about this one at all. great being in the long boy. Loving this thing already. I know it's the same as the A320 in here, but still really, really cool. So KLM is on its way down there. No aircraft to our left. We're going to be going right now on to Juliet. And we'll be going over to Unicom, which is 122.8, the frequency basically where you just announce what you're doing to everybody else. You just basically do it for a bit of a gentleman's agreement, a bit of cooperation. We'll make sure that that's in ready on the radio. Yeah, ready to go on 122.8. Let's make sure this is in as well. And this, we want predicted wind shear on. So we're just taxiing now down down Juliet to the runway. Okay, so we're setting the auto brakes, to max. Check the cabin. I mean, we'll just go, hello.
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now secure for takeoff.
Takeoff config check. Flight control, flap MCDU disagree. Oh, where are we not?
WestJet 25, thank you.
Flaps
Taxi
2. I thought we were
right
flaps 1 from
via
what I saw
Lima.
before.
Okay, taxi in Juliet 70.
He's going to tell us any moment now to go to Unicom. He sounds like a real
1
pilot.
Charlie Delta, no further ATC available. Over to Unicom 122.8. Have a safe flight. See ya.
Over to Unicom 122.8. Thanks for the ATC. Have a good day. Fenix 1 Charlie Delta.
You too, take care.
There you go, 122.8. KLM 10 is, I think, behind there. Oh, they've gone. We missed them. No, we missed the 777. It's so much more interesting on VATSIM, isn't it? I do apologise, everyone, because I know I do a lot of offline flying, but I really should go on VATSIM more often. It doesn't take much more preparation, to be honest with you. So we're going to be holding Juliet 4, but to be honest, I think we're going to get straight on with it. No, because I'm going to park the aircraft, hold at Juliet 4, and then we'll go and get taken off. We're a little bit fast into here. Excuse me. Gatwick traffic, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta, holding short runway 08 right, Juliet 4.
KLM 10 climbing via 1 Zulu departure.
Okay, let's get ready for takeoff, shall we? So, we have, before takeoff, initial altitude is already set. We have our radar as requested, or as required, I should say. We want this on TA and RA. We've got that is on. I don't know the full name for it anyway. Auto brake max, we need the terrain on the ND, we're going to pop that on. We've then got the transponder auto on, altitude reporting on, TCAS, TARA, TCAS traffic, ECAM memo blue, landing lights on, nose light to takeoff, runway turn-offs on as well, so we'll do those. Nose light to takeoff, strobe goes to on, beacon, nav logo, all that good stuff. Okay, Gatwick traffic, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta, landing at runway 08 right. Can't believe we're flaps 2 for this takeoff, actually. It's quite the surprise. I would have thought it'd be 1 or none because of the fact that very light aircraft today, 5 tons of fuel still, but we're going to be pushing on.
For traffic, speedbird from 4273 is inbound constant 8000, climbing flight level 28.
Gatwick traffic, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta, departing runway 08 right, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta. Don't know why I repeated my call sign there. I meant to say Gatwick traffic. It's got to 50%. No mucking about. Let it stabilise. Ready? Let's go. Yeah, the long boy. Thank you, Dan. The long boy on 08 right. Manflex SRS runway. Auto thrust is blue. 100 knots already, hands off the throttles at V1, a little bit off the centre, rotate. Whoa, God, she got up quickly. Positive rate of climb, so the gear is coming up. Wow, she got up fast. Obviously, nothing on board, so no, it's not down to the aircraft's performance. Following that flight director. Gatwick traffic, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta passing 1,500 feet, Gatwick traffic. Leverage climb. Bring the nose down. Smash in. Okay, going on to the checklist out of the corner of my eye. Flaps retract very soon. Go flaps 1, And then we have S-speed shortly. Packs on, speed brakes disarmed, nose light off. Runway turn-offs come off. Landing lights is required, seatbelts is required. Banging. Absolutely banging. Love that. S-speed is exceeded, so flaps can come up.
Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes.
Boy, this is a long boy. We are going to be under 6,000 feet for quite a while yet on this departure, so all is golden. Lovely conditions from in here in the cockpit though, but you know what? I've always made the joke that I don't like the Airbus A321 because it's replacing the 757, which is one of my favourite, if not my favourite commercial aircraft ever. I think probably my favourite aircraft ever, actually, the 757. I worship the things. But the A321 is very efficient, very clever aircraft, really useful, and especially the A321 Neos as well now that you get. It's an incredible bit of kit, it really is. And you can't argue with it, but I'm starting to love them more and more. I think it's a longer aircraft I enjoy. It's just awesome. But we're going into some cloud now. So, can't really see what we're doing, but I'm very happy with this at the moment. No passengers or anything on board. But yeah, it's just like flying the Fenix A320. It's just a bit longer. It makes a difference to us, the people that love it. It makes a difference to us. So we're going to be cruising at 24,000 feet today, so it's not necessarily a really high altitude flight, this one. It's only a short one up the UK. So we're going to get to 6,000 at LAM. Once we've got there, then we're going to climb to 24. So what I'm going to do is put the 24 in here, and then I'm going to tell the aircraft to do that. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to tell the aircraft to do that. So it's queued up 240,000 feet. Jesus, I hope it hasn't. 24,000. We're going to go into standard pressure now as well at 5,000 feet. We're going to do that on both sides very quickly before it beeps at me. We're going to take the seatbelt signs off at this stage because we're pretty sorted, aren't we? Look at this. Beautiful. So we've got this restriction here at LAM at 6,000 feet, 250 knots, which the aircraft is holding. But you can see there it's got CLB ready in blue. It's ready to climb, basically. Just going to quickly check on Volanta if we've got anyone on at Manchester, because we had Manchester Tower on earlier. We've got Manchester Ground on, which is good. So we've at least got somebody to speak to us when we get down there. We've done this left-hand turn here, and now we're going up this purple line all the way up the country. And yeah, off we go. We've got London Centre on, actually, which we should probably speak to. Didn't realise they were covering the country, so let's see if we can speak to them on VPilot. 118480.
Subject 5 Romeo Foxtrot, resume your own navigation now, direct to Timpo. Direct Timpo, 5 Romeo Foxtrot.
We're going to climb now, so I'll give you a beauty shot of that, and then we'll see if we need to speak to this guy.
Runway 04.
230, level red final, El Quinamundo.
London Control, good afternoon. This is Chanex 1 Charlie Delta. Just making sure if I need to check in with you, climbing through 10,000 feet on the way up to flight level 240.
At Chanex 1 Charlie Delta, negative, you don't need to talk to me.
Roger that, we'll go back over to Unicom. Thank you very much. Chanex 1 Charlie Delta. Stuff you, didn't want to talk to you anyway. Up to flight level 240, just broken through the clouds. I know I've just given you a beauty shot, but I think you deserve another.
With 863 Zulu, turning left now, on 3.
One thing I have realised is that the landing lights have been on well too long, so we're going to go up top and we're going to turn these puppies off eventually. Oh yeah, we put them down, not up. Whoops. all good up here, and we are just coming through 19,000 feet now. So we are continuing on our climb, and it'll just be about cruising up to Manchester now. So it reckons that we'll be about 40 minutes in the air. I'm not sure if that's how long is left. We'll wait and see if that changes. Scheduled time of departure, so yeah, 10 minutes behind schedule here. So 12:30 we left. That's Zulu, so that's 1:30. Reckons we'll get there about 2:38 UK time. It says 22 there, so we're about 16 minutes ahead. But I reckon with my flight plan, which I need to show you, it's going to take a bit longer. So what we have is this horrible thing here where, because we're on 5 right, it doesn't like lining them up. And usually you would get ATC clearance when you get near Manchester. So at Dane, we're just going to turn left and we're going to head towards Nantes down this sort of direction. So I'm trying to figure out what angle that'll be. Maybe heading 255. I used to get scared of flying to places like this in the sim because it didn't just tell me where to go. But a lot of the time you do need to sort of have your own navigation about you, and just if there's nobody online for tower or ground, you just sort of have to make your own route there, but do what you would do if you were sort of given ATC clearance. This is flashing yellow now because it's telling us that we're getting up to 24,000 feet, and then we're going to jump in the cruise. I'm going to go get a drink, have something to eat, and yeah, back with you very, very soon. Now we're already only 16 miles from top of descent, so we need to start putting in some destination data actually, so let alone go for a drink and everything. I haven't actually got up from my desk yet, I've been doing beauty shots. So let's just make sure, we'll go, where do we put it again? This, approach. So we need to go over to here, get the METAR for Manchester. It is 1013. We need to then get the temperature, which is 15 over 11, so it's 15 degrees, and then the winds, which are variable at 6 knots, so we'll just put 000 at 06. And we need to then get the minimums, so we need to check the charts. We need to get this. It's 3,500 feet, I'm pretty sure, at Manchester. 3,000 feet on this runway, so we need to put that to 3,000. Tell the aircraft to descend a little bit early now, and we'll also get the minimums from here, 386. Okay, so we're already on our way down, which is pretty mad. We've started an early descent, but that's fine. So we're going to get to 20,000 feet, flight level 200, a restriction at Elbos, and then we'll continue the descent into Manchester. Flipping out, they kicked back in with some vigour there, didn't they? Wow, they really did. Looking around here, trying to figure out what to do next, but I should probably check this actually, because we've now got to go onto the back page of the checklist or procedures list, and now I can't get on my clipboard. Landing lights, seatbelt signs, landing system, ECAM blue, basically. LS in a little bit, and then obviously approach. We've got 3,000 feet in the box, that's where we intercept the ILS. We're on Unicon 122.8. Wait till you see how short my next flight's going to be when we fly the A319 for the first time. You're going to enjoy that. I wonder why I don't need to speak to London Control then if I'm in his airspace. That confuses me. Why would I not speak to him? Can someone clarify that? I know I'm not going to London, I'm coming out of London, but still, why would I not speak to him? Because it clearly covers this area. Okay, so Dane is coming up very, very soon. We're going to have to figure out what direction we're going to go in. We're going to go this way, towards Nantes. Is there a way of drawing on this? 255, 260, we're going to go in that direction anyway. Turning left here now towards Dane. And we'll be there any moment now. So what the aircraft should do at this point just go into, it'll do a little ding 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 thing like the autopilot does, because you'll have all heard when you disconnect the autopilot you get obviously the main blaring noise, and then it does a little ding 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 sort of noise, which is basically saying it's handed a bit of the control to you, like it's up to you now. So I'm thinking what it's going to do is the heading is just going to pop up on here, then that's mine to control. It'll still be doing the altitude and the speed, but then the control of all that will get given to me. There's an aircraft 600 feet below us. Oh, there's also a massive frame stutter. 600 feet below us apparently, over in that direction. I don't see anybody currently. Manchester traffic, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta reaching Dane for the Elvo 1 Mike arrival, runway 05 right, Manchester traffic. Just letting them know. It's better to say too much than not enough on VATSIM, I feel. In terms of your announcements anyway, you know, just give people the necessary info. Never started the chrono. I always forget to do that, it seems.
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now secure for landing.
Thank you, love. Let's give you a bing bong. Seatbelt signs come back on. Landing lights come back on now. We're below 10,000 feet. So watch this now. So as we get to this waypoint here, this will be a number. It should be. Didn't hear a word of that. I didn't say that to him on VATSIM, but I didn't really hear him. I feel that aircraft in front of us has got to MCT as a transition point and is now turning. I've got rid of MCT because I don't know why you should fly at the airport and suddenly prepare for an arrival. I think they might be one ahead of us in the queue. Hitting the waypoint. There you go. See? So now if we turn it left, let's go heading 260. Probably not enough. Let's go 250. We'll turn left. And it's carrying on at 500 feet a minute down, so it knows that we eventually want to get there. Yeah, it looks to me like that other aircraft has hit MCT and then it's putting them out there and it's just going to turn them around on the approach. It's a stupid approach. Oh, it's 500 feet a minute up that's doing. No, we want to go down. Let's go left a little bit more. Let's go heading 230. We're almost parallel to it now, but in the opposite direction, obviously. 1,000 feet a minute down. We're going to get very clear of CF05 right. Once we're clear of that, we're then going to turn on to the approach. That's the centre fix. Yeah, look, that aircraft is now going bolt that way, and they're probably going to turn around, so we need to be a bit careful here. I might ask the aircraft to slow me down a little bit to 200 knots.
Manchester traffic, advise 320, reaching final.
That's what you think. Let's see if we can see him on Volanta. Yeah, look, another one flying directly at the airport and then turning away from it. I find it really strange. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it or what, but yeah, look, this aircraft now is going to be setting up for final. So it's almost flown them at it to turn them around again. Anyway, I can moan about Manchester's approaches all day long. I know what I'm trying to do here. We're going to ask the aircraft to
Manchester traffic,
slow down.
outside 28 Tango, vacated runway 05 left.
05 left. Give me 200 knots, please, plane. A little bit of speed brake coming in. Yeah, see? They've gone all this way and then turned back around. We need to get the pressure in, which is 1013. That's in. Still going down 1,000 feet a minute. We're going to go flaps 1. And remove a bit of the speed brake. We're past CF23 right now. Sorry, 05 right.
Advise 320, I'm full established, Manchester traffic, I'm full established.
Tell us twice. Okay, so now we're going to go direct, and we're going to go CF05 right. Manchester traffic, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta, turning on to final now. Chanex 1 Charlie Delta, Manchester traffic. Runway 05 right, apologies, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta. Well, I can't take the mick out of anyone for getting it wrong if I can't get it right either. Turning on to final now. So here's our plan then, so we're turning onto this. The aircraft in front of us has got loads of space, they're about 15 miles ahead. We're just going to have to...
320, I'm clear to land.
We're going to have to start reporting whereabouts we are. Told the aircraft 200 knots, I'm going to tell it to now manage the speed from here. You can see that the diamond is there ready to go. 15 miles out. We're below profile, which is the main thing. We're below where we need to be. I'd rather be too low than too high and too fast. Manchester traffic, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta, runway 05 right, 15 mile final. Quick approach, get that ready. Cat 3 singles already in the box, that's beautiful. Minimums are ready. Auto brakes are going to go on to low for this one if we can get the thing to click over there.
Like 320, 2 miles to final.
2 mile final for that guy. I don't think he is on Volanta or anything. Can't see him. Well, it's mighty cloudy out here, isn't it? Can't see anything. Cannot see anything.
Traffic corner 73.
Okay, glide slope and localizer. All good. Manchester traffic, Channel X1 Charlie Delta, fully established, 12.5 miles. Flaps 2 are in. Gear is coming down. Okay, let's land this puppy. We can actually see something for a second. Let's make sure everything's all ready to go. We're going to arm the speed brakes. The landing gear is down. There's no blue on the E-cam. Ground spoilers are armed. We've got the auto brakes ready. Cool. I am happy. I am very happy. My first landing in the Airbus A321. Let's not smack the tail on the ground. Look at the crosswind. 23 knots at the moment. We've made it work. That's the main thing. Landing lights. Everything's all good in it. Up there. Drew's probably going to find something wrong with it. Low visibility at the moment. We're just getting below this cloud level. 7.5 miles. Runway in sight. Never landed on 5 right. It's always been 2-3 right. Wonder if there's anything on my thing here to quickly do. That's upside down. Runway 05 right via the Elvo 1 Mike arrival QNH 1013. Okay. Flaps need to go down to full. Look how sideways we are. Big crosswind. 19 knots at the moment as well. Manchester traffic, Channel X1 Charlie Delta, runway 05 right, 5 miles to run. Got my hands on the throttles now, or my hand on the throttles. Got me pointing that way, that's crazy. 10 degrees to the right of the runway. This could be...
leaving runway.
This could be possibly my hardest landing yet, and it's in the long boy. God, V-speed is really low as well. We're doing 121 knots at the moment. We are floating in, everybody. Oh, I hope I get this right. I'm going to leave the autopilot on quite late, because this is so sideways. 19 knot crosswind. Hopefully it dies down a little bit the lower we get. But this is nuts.
1,000.
Normally I'd disengage the autopilot by now, but I'm not going to at this stage. God, it's got even worse. 24 knots. More sideways. We're like 12 degrees off the centre line. It's crazy. I'm going to leave the auto throttle in. That can handle a lot of this for me. Auto brakes are on low. Manchester traffic, Channel X1 Charlie Delta, landing 05 right. Okay. Autopilot is now off.
500.
Shut up. Very sideways. Okay, it's dying down a bit now. Oh, she's dropped down.
100 above.
It's moving around a bit. We've still got 12 knots crosswind from the right hand side.
Manchester traffic, taking on runway 05 left.
Minimum.
Continue. Despite the crosswinds, we're feeling good.
100.
Okay, it's died down now because of the trees, which is good.
Slow.
Yeah, I know.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard.
Oof.
10. 5.
Oh, I felt a bit of a bounce there. Was I on one wheel for a lot of that? I don't know. Don't need reverses, we're just going to let it roll. Hey, that wasn't so bad, was it? Let it go. we'll vacate at the earliest possible convenience. Manchester traffic, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta vacating 05 right. Nice! We've landed the Airbus A321, the big pig. Okay, so we get past this point. We'll just keep dabbing those brakes. We'll write down where we vacated and then we will contact Manchester ground, shall we? There we go. Whew. First off, we'll clean the flaps up and then we'll get the brakes all up. Let's just check where we vacated. Victor Delta. And Manchester ground is going to be contactable on 121.855. I'm writing all this down just because I document this. Let's pick a stand. Actually, no, he'll tell us what stand to go to. 121.855.
Signal 52, Manchester ground, hello. Cleared Houston, Aspen 1 Sierra departure 05 left, squawk 3763.
Cleared at 58 Aspen 1 Sierra departure and 3763 was that on the squawk code, Singapore 52?
So I'm just switching all this lot on without telling you lot basically, I'm just listening to these guys. TCAS to standby, that goes to TA. Predicted wind shear off. APU, landing lights, nose light, yeah, cool. Manchester ground, hello, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta vacated 05 right at Victor Delta.
Chanex 1 Charlie Delta, Manchester ground, hello. Unfortunately I don't cover the southern side of the airport. If you remain on Unicom and then give me a call back once you crossed 05 left.
Call back after clearing 05 left, thanks very much, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta. Okay, I did not know that. Manchester traffic, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta taxiing to ramp via Victor, holding short of 23 right, 05 left. Wrong runway, Chaz. Still, we're on the ground, we're safe, we're happy. God, you do need to really give this piggy a push to get it to taxi. It is that chunk heavier than the others, isn't it? Wow. I'm excited to fly the A319 directly after this. I'm literally going to be recording it straight after this. Jumping back on VATSIM in the 319 to do a very short flight. It's going to be a lot of fun though. Now I know that a lot of aircraft, when they're crossing the runway here at Manchester, they do it way further down here. They won't go left at that point. They'll do it a lot further down this end. We're going to be aiming for Terminal 2. Let me just bring up the charts. So we're going to be, wanting the next left basically at Delta Zulu. So we'll contact ground when we get to Delta Zulu holding point. But yeah, I'm really chuffed with this. Thanks again, Dan, for buying me this. I know he'll probably watch this. You've seen Dan before in my videos. I absolutely bloody love him. Not sure why there's trees here though. This is something that's been a bit broken with the latest update to the game. There's trees on the sort of infield of the airport, which definitely aren't there in real life. Trust me, I've spent long enough at Manchester Airport to know where the trees are and where they aren't. So we want this left here at Delta Zulu, and then we'll probably be told Papa Delta Echo. Let's just check something. Manchester traffic, just checking anybody is departing or arriving at 05 left. No? Let's have a look outside. The answer is no, there's nobody taxiing down there or anywhere near it, so we will cross. Manchester traffic, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta crossing runway 05 left. Today, plane. Flipping heck. God, these CFMs really don't give much push, do they? I enjoy crossing runways. I don't know what it is about it. I think I've mentioned it before. I just think it's cool. The way the lights line up like that. It's really cool. So once we're off here, we will then hold and explain to Mr. Groundy Boy that we are done.
This year 2503, stand free to push and start crew facing west, QNH 1013.
Push and start approved, face west, QNH 1013, CDR 2503.
Manchester ground, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta now clear of runway at 05 left.
Chanex 1 Charlie Delta, Manchester ground, hello again. Thanks, taxi stand 105 via Papa Delta Echo and Zulu.
Stand 105 via Papa Delta Echo Zulu. Thanks very much, Chanex 1 Charlie Delta.
No problem.
Grounded order from the...
So 105, Papa Delta Echo Zulu. Papa Delta Echo Zulu, stand 105. Okay, cool. So quite a long taxi as well. Let's get that up. And that being the throttles. And let's get GSX to go gate 105. No, follow me. Cool. Oh, I love this. I hope you've enjoyed this video as well, everybody. I've really enjoyed being back on VATSIM. I don't always go on and check where there's controllers on or anything like that. I don't tend to go chasing them. I seem to sort of... I plan my flights beforehand, and then it just so happens if they're on, basically. We've gotten lucky today. But I do want to do more on VATSIM when there are controllers on. Once I've covered a few more airports in my videos, I think eventually I will just jump on VATSIM, see what's on, and just do a flight from one to the next. But now we're going to get onto Delta, which is this right-hander here, and then we're going to go left onto Echo, and then Zulu is right at the end at Terminal 2. Manchester is changing a lot as well. There will be a lot more going on what is now on my left-hand side.
Requesting taxi for EG45 Delta.
This is Echo now. So there's going to be a new pier over here, similar to what we've got, the black one that we're going to be parking at actually now. There's going to be a new pier across this big open space here, which will be really cool to see. What on earth is that on my right? There's a A320 Neo. No livery on that. They're pushing back. There's a Singapore A350 over there, which is one of my favourite aircraft in the world. I can't remember who it is that does the A350. Is there anyone that does an A350, or is that on X-Plane? Because I know on whether you're on Microsoft Flight Simulator or X-Plane, you can connect to VATSIM and it'll model match as best as it can. But yeah, the A350... any builds are doing an A350, aren't they? But I don't think they... Yeah. I don't think it's out. Either way, that's a cool thing to see. I would show you a shot out the window, but there's a weird chicane thing here. And obviously I want to get out of his way as well. If he's ready for taxi, I don't want to be holding them up. So we go around the end of this pier here to Zulu. This is the weird chicaney bit that I spoke about. They really have tried to maximise the use of the space here at Manchester. It's weird because I'm very conscious that I'm in a longer aircraft. It's not that much longer than an A320, but it just, I don't know, feels long. Not quite sure why the car park has sort of inherited so much of the space here, but yeah, it's definitely not that big a car park anymore.
The new QNH is now 1012.
We're here at stand 105, and we need to turn the turn-offs and taxi lights off. I was a little bit close to overshooting it there because I was too busy doing a beauty shot. So I need to just gradually move over this way. Right, let's keep that angle, shall we? Oh, I've overdone it here. I've overdone it. A little bit overdone, but it's fine. We're here, let's park up and let's just observe the parking, shall we? Terrible parking job, absolutely terrible parking job. It's loud out here. But we have successfully brought the aircraft to Manchester, so lots of lovely people can now go on their holidays. So we need the parking brake on, nose light off, runway turn-offs off, APU bleed is on, engine masters 1 and 2 off, so let's go and listen to them, shall we? Not that you can hear anything anyway with that noisy A350 out there. Seatbelt signs now come off. Bye bye everyone. Beacon light comes off, and then the fuel pumps come off, and that is the end of our flight, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. Really, really good stuff. Let's operate the jetway, get that to connect to the aircraft from the left-hand side here. And that's it from this flight, my very first flight in the Airbus A321. Thanks again to my good friend Dan McCauley for buying this for me. I'm very, very grateful, and I've absolutely loved it. Hope you've enjoyed it as well. It's great to be back on VATSIM. Obviously, you can hear it all still going on in the background. But even though there was no passengers, they're still trying to get some sort of suitcases off or something. Don't know why. Either way, thank you once again for watching, everybody. I'm going to do another video in just a moment where we're flying the A319, a very, very short flight. It's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you again very soon.